everybody. So today I'm wearing gold beads in honor of my mom, who I lost to suicide on December 3rd, 2012. I was only 7 years old. And even now, as a 17-year-old coming up on the 10-year anniversary, I cannot believe how young I was to experience such a great loss. There are some days when I wake up and it still does not seem real. The last time I saw my mom was earlier that night. It was a Sunday, and I had school the next day. The last thing I remember was her tucking me into bed, giving me a hug and kiss, telling me goodnight and that she loved me. My life completely changed when my mom passed, and I remember everything feeling like it was moving so fast. It was my mom's funeral, my 8th birthday, Christmas, New Year's, and going back to school, all in that exact order within a month. Nothing felt real. I was sad, numb, and confused. I was not told the exact cause of her death for a few years because of how young I was. I was just told that she was sick and had passed away. But I'm thankful that my dad and my grandmother made that decision for me, because I know for a fact I would not understand why my mom died by suicide at such a young age. When I went back to school, I remember feeling lonely sometimes and even jealous of other kids when they would talk about their other moms and dads. Around this time is when I realized nothing would ever be the same after my mom's passing. And I realized no one really understood what I was feeling. And as an 8-year-old, that is a hard feeling to overcome. A few months later, my dad and I moved to Alabama from West Virginia, and I moved in with my grandparents. With this came going to a new school and making new friends. And I will never forget how scared I was to share with my classmates the reason why I live with my grandparents, because I did not want to be known as a little girl who doesn't have a mom. But little did I know, I had nothing to be worried about. I made some amazing friends, and I had an awesome teacher, and I was finally happy. Moving in with my grandma and grandpa was the best thing that ever happened to me. My grandma and I always shared a special bond, and being with her every day is exactly what I needed. I remember all the times I would cry in her arms because I missed my mom, and she always had the right words to say in every situation. For the first time since my mom had passed, I felt like I could talk to someone about how I was feeling. I was no longer lonely, and I was a happy little girl, and she's standing right there. And her birthday's on Tuesday, so if y'all see her, wish her a happy early birthday. A few years later, when I did discover that my mom died by suicide, I felt similar feelings like I did when I first found out she had passed. My main emotion was confusion, and I had a lot of questions. I felt lost, and I did not understand why she ended her life. It was hard for me to come to terms with everything, and as a result, I did not share anything about my mother's death with anyone. I felt too ashamed and scared, and I did not want people to think differently of me because I had lost my mom to suicide. Not only did I struggle connecting with others already just because I didn't have a mom, it suddenly felt way more difficult and hard, and it felt like I was hearing the news of her passing all over again. But my mother's death made me realize, now that I know the signs of depression, anxiety, withdrawals, and drug abuse, I also learned that there is hope and there are ways to get help. I attended my first Out of the Darkness walk in 2018 at age 13. And coming to this event has made me finally realize that I am not alone. I had one of my very best friends, Karis, she's sitting right there. She came with me, and she's come with me every year since. And I have some amazing supporters here today, my friends Sarah and Clover, so thank y'all for coming with me today. And Karis was the first person that I told about my mom's true reasoning of her death, and she's been a huge part of this journey with me, so thank you so much, I love you. Last year, I started competing in the Miss America organization, and I started my social impact initiative called Adolescent Wellness Checkups, where I promote the importance of parents taking their children for their yearly wellness checkup. When I was a freshman in high school, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and if it wasn't for that wellness checkup, we'd be talking a completely different story right now. But wellness checkups are so important because not only should a child's physical health be considered, their mental health is just as important as well. And checkups provide a perfect opportunity for patients or parents to talk with their doctors about how they are feeling, and checkups can diagnose and treat mental illness. In the beginning, I mentioned that the last memory of my mom is her tucking me in goodnight. Ever since that, I have lived with my grandma. She has tucked me in every single night, and she still does to this day.
To this day.
And I'm turning 18 in December, and I'm proud of that. Let's go. They have given me the best life, my grandma and my grandpa, and I want to thank them for everything that they have done for me. And I would not be the person that I am today without y'all, and I love y'all so much. And thank you for always supporting me for everything that I've done. If I have to say one thing from one young suicide loss survivor to another, I would tell them that there will come a day when you will stop and realize how far you have come. You will realize that everything that you have overcame, and you will be amazed by the support, strength, determination, and hope that you have, and that will give you the courage to keep going. I stand here today hoping that my story can help others and encourage survivors to keep going. Thank you so much.